Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govind Jai Jai, Gopal Jai Jai, Radha Ramana Hari Govind Jai Jai, Radha Ramana Hari Govind Jai Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga Bolo, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai, 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 Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hare, Nitai Gaura Haribo, Ribo, Ribo, Ribo. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Ashtottara Satasi Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की, श्री प्रभुपाद की, प्रभुपाद अनुगा की, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tapojayam Udirayet. We are reading today from Bhagavad Gita as it is on this nice breezy Sunday evening, pleasantly manifested here at the lotus feet of Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra Mai ki. By their kind mercy, we are all gathered together and getting the opportunity to indulge in Krishna consciousness by the facility provided by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and his humongous efforts to bring the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita to people all over the world. And today successfully the Bhagavad Gita is being spoken at every nook and corner of the world, somewhere or the other, all the time. In 87 different languages it's published, and maybe it is being spoken about in many, many more dialects and many other languages. So we are very, very grateful to Srila Prabhupada for his contribution. So thank you very much for coming here today, being here jointly to discover, to discuss and to understand the wonderful message Krishna has given to entire humanity. Today we shall have the fortune of reading from chapter 14, text 26. Mam chayo abvibicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitahan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Please repeat. Mam chayo abvibicharena bhakti yogena sevate Sagunan samatitaitan Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace HH.Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I am reading from chapter 14, text 26 for those who want to know online. Translation: one who engages in full devotional service unfailing in all circumstances at once transcends the modes of material nature. Thus comes to the level of Brahman. Purport: this verse is a reply to Arjuna's third question, what is the means of attaining to the transcendental position? As explained before, the material world is acting under the spell of the modes of material nature. One should not be disturbed by the activities of the modes of nature. Instead of putting this consciousness into such activities, we may transfer his consciousness to Krishna activities. Krishna activities are known as Bhakti Yoga, always acting for Krishna. This includes not only Krishna, but his different plenary expansions such as Rama and Narayana. He has innumerable expansions. One who is engaged in the service of any of the forms of Krishna or of his plenary expansions is considered to be transcendentally situated. One should also note that all the forms of Krishna are fully transcendental, blissful, full of knowledge and eternal. Such personalities of Godhead are omnipotent and omniscient, and they possess all transcendental qualities. So if one engages himself in the service of Krishna or his plenary expansions with unfailing determination, although these modes of material nature are very difficult to overcome, one can overcome them easily. This has already been explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto Krishna at once surmounts the influence of the modes of material nature. To be in full Krishna consciousness or in the devotional service means to acquire equality with Krishna. The Lord says that his nature is eternal, blissful and full of knowledge. And the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme, as gold particles are part of the gold mine. Thus a living entity in a spiritual position is as good as gold, as good as Krishna in quality. The difference of individuality continues. Otherwise there would be no question of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means that the Lord is there, the devotee is there, and the activity of exchange of love between the Lord and the devotee is there. Therefore, the individuality of two persons is present in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the individual person. Otherwise, there would be no meaning to Bhakti Yoga. If one is not situated in the same transcendental position with the Lord, one cannot serve the Supreme Lord. To be a personal assistant to a king, one must acquire the qualifications. Thus, the qualification is to become Brahman, or freed from all material contamination. It is said in the Vedic literature, Brahmaiva san Brahma pieti. One can attain the Supreme Brahman by becoming Brahman. This means that one must qualitatively become one with Brahman. By attainment of Brahman, one does not lose his eternal Brahman identity as an individual soul. Om Tat Sat. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Very nicely it is mentioned here that we all can understand ourselves to be transcendental, to be spiritual, and also God, Krishna, to be supremely spiritual. And we can relate in a relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna. It is possible, it is doable, it is practical. Just that we have to learn the method, follow the instructor, Guru, and gradually, as per Krishna's explanation, the path will open and we will achieve a spiritual position which is at home, which is our constitutional position, which is normal and perfectly natural. For that, it is mentioned that we must acquire the qualification of Brahman. Brahmajana titi Brahmana. One who is a Brahmana is a person who knows that Brahman, that quality, that spirit, that status. Education is meant for this purpose, for us to understand spirit, for us to understand Brahman. Atatho Brahma Jignasa. The first sutra in the Vedanta Sutra states, now that you are a human being, Atatho, please do Brahma Jignasa. Enquire about Brahman. Jignasa means enquiry, questioning. Human life is meant for this. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, if you follow this path, you will become Brahmajanatiti Brahmana. You will become a person who is Brahman situated. So, sometimes it looks like it is too difficult to understand. It may be even more difficult to do. Actually, to look at it, it is so strange that in human society, complex things are more popular than simple things. People take to complexity more easily than to a simple thing. When we are telling people, that's all, just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, they immediately say, that's all. This mantra I already know, it's very common. Can I get something complex which nobody knows, which is more deep and lot more? As though understanding the simple truth requires complexity. This is because our educational system is complex, our knowledge process is complex, our economy is complex, living in the material world has become very complex. It involves so many things. Actually, it's not so. Material life is very complex. Original, simple, spiritual life cannot become any simpler. So, understanding Krishna, understanding the truth is not a complicated process. We make it complicated. We make it because we mix it with so many other things. You see, the two great stalwart scholars, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. It's a beautiful story. If you go to Vrindavana today, you cannot but pay tribute to these great Goswamis, due to whose reason today we are able to see Vrindavana as it is. In 1511, 1512, they were sent to Vrindavana by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to excavate Vrindavana, because Vrindavana was lost. Nobody knew where is Govardhana, where is Yamuna, where is Gopal's deity, where is Govindaji. Nobody could see anything. It is Lord Chaitanya who went to a place called Arita Grama. Everybody knows about a place called Arita Gram. And Lord Chaitanya, who is Krishna himself, he went there and he knew Vrindavana very well. He found out and told them, this is Govardhana, this is Radha Kunda, Shama Kunda. He took bath in it. And then he sent these two Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. But before they were sent, they were actually two great scholars. They knew Persian, they knew Arabic, they knew Sanskrit, you name it, all languages they are scholars. And they were working under the Nawab Hussain Shah. They were from Brahmin families, two of them. Gauda Saraswata Brahmin family from Karnataka has moved over generations to Bengal and settled there. And under the Nawab, who threatened them, if you don't work for me, I will torture all the Hindus, I'll destroy the temples, I'll give them great pain. So they said, no, we will do what you say. Although it was so much against any Brahmin taking the job under a Muslim king. Although Brahmins were and Hindus were very actively set up in their religious codes and everything, they decided to do this so that a lot of misery will be saved. And the Nawab, he had very great confidence in them because he heard a lot about them. Very straightforward, very sincere, very pure, very intelligent, very knowledgeable, great capacity. So he said, you do this, I'll not do anything to you. You have my treasury. You can look after everything for me. I'll go out and conquer. I'll expand my kingdom. So he made one person his private secretary, the other person the chief minister. Their names were changed to Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik. Their names became Muslim names. In fact, they look like they converted to Muslims. But inside they continued to practice their religion. Because the Nawab did not bother about it. He said, you can do, no problem. This is just their titles, Sakar Malik, Dabir Khas. And these two people, they were so expert and so good, and everybody in the kingdom liked them, whether it is Muslim, that person, anybody. And they worked very sincerely. So everybody liked them. And they had their own temple in their own house, in their village. They had all facilities to do what you want. But they were not at all happy. They had all the money in the world. He said, you keep the treasury key, whatever you want you can take. They trusted him so much. Because of their quality, education. So, Lord Chaitanya happened to come to their village, Ramakeli. Even today you can go, it's a very beautiful place. When they went to Ramakeli, they were so happy that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming this way and he's going to stop over here. So they went to meet him. And it is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, they are meeting with him. They paid obeisances on the floor, on the bare earth. They took a piece of straw lying on the street and put it on their teeth. Dante nidhaya tranayam. They put trana means small grass piece, put it in between their teeth. This is a sign of humility. They said, lay down in front of him and cried and said, people in the village and people everywhere think we are very great. We are scholars, we know everything, we have all the money in the world. Everything they think, all material possessions we have. But we know, Keniyami Keni Amare Jare Tapatraya. Who am I? Why am I suffering this threefold miseries? We don't know. But people think we know many things. But the simple foundational question, who am I? I don't know. Why am I suffering? I don't know. This is the first question they asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not that they were fools asking this with all the money in the world, all the position, all the learning, all the knowledge, everything. They were asking, I still don't know who am I. Kayami, Keniyamare jare tapatraya. Who am I? Why do I suffer this threefold miseries? Threefold miseries means klesha. Klesha means misery. Adi bhautika klesha, adi daivika klesha, adhyatmika klesha. Misery brought about by my own self, my body, right? My mind. Misery brought out by somebody else or something else on me. I am sitting here, mosquito will bite me. I am talking Bhagavad Gita, but the mosquito will come. It is not thinking Bhagavad Gita. It is thinking, where is the blood from the Swamiji's thighs? I can suck it. People are thinking differently. The living entities are thinking differently. There is a saying in Malayalam language that when the mosquito sits on the udder of the cow, it is not going to drink milk, it is going to drink blood. You know the udder of the cow where you milk? If you see a mosquito on the udder of the cow, don't think it is drinking milk. It is drinking blood. Thinking differently. So, Adi Bhautika Klesha means so many living entities will give you pain. If other living entities are not giving pain, somebody next to you will talk bad of you. Somebody in your workplace will do some politics against you. If nothing is, this thing, the government will levy taxes on you extra. Something will go on. Somebody will give you some pain. Otherwise it will rain unnecessarily. Or it will be too hot. That is called Adi Daivika Klesha. Because of higher personalities and rulers. Too much heat, too much sun, drought, no water, or too much rain, floods. Adi Daivika Klesha means Devas and the controllers. They will also give you some pain. So these are threefold miseries. Adhyatmika Klesha, your own, if you sit quietly, your mind will trouble you. If you are going out somewhere, somebody else will trouble you. If both of them are not troubling you, the weather will trouble you. Somehow or the other you will be under trouble. So this question was very nicely paraphrased by them. Kayami keni amare jare tapatraya. Why these things are affecting me? Who am I? This person who is suffering this. Simple question. Common sense dictates that we should ask question about our existence. Simple. It starts from there. When a person becomes interested in knowing the real fact of life, the real truth about life, then he is a human being. The Bhagavad Gita and the Vedic Shastra says, civilized person, a proper human being, means he should ask these questions. Otherwise, if he is simply interested in ahara, nidra, bhayamaitunam, eating, mating, sleeping, defending, he is an animal. He may be in the body of a human being, but his culture is that of an animal. So, human society has got a high responsibility. You must ask questions about the reality of life because you are going to die very soon. So, this question was asked to Lord Chaitanya. And then they both started saying so many things that we are so fallen, we are low class, we are forced to work under this king who is cruel, who, eats the cow which we worship, who does this, who does that, and then, so we are very, very low. They were feeling very much. And in this way they became so humble in front of the Lord. Humility is the right qualification required for accepting knowledge, spiritual knowledge. But a lot of them who read Bhagavad Gita, who want to be religious, who want to know things, lack humility. They think they already know, or they think it's easy to know. I'll read it up and I'll tell you very fast. I know. To think that you know is the first sign of failure. If you already think I'm capable of knowing, I know, I can know, if you approach God, if you approach the truth in that matter, you will become disqualified. Tad vidhi pradipatena pariprashnena sevaya. The process, tad vidhi, the vidhi process is pranipatena, to be humble and approach a guru. Pariprashnena sevaya, serve him and ask him questions. Today serving has changed to giving money. I give you a fee, teach me. I go to the institution and say, I gave you the fee, teach me. So I also teach you because you gave fee. Because you give me a salary, I teach you. I have no relationship with you. So knowledge doesn't flow like that. Real knowledge doesn't flow like that. So this question of knowledge, this question of transfer of knowledge, this question of understanding what you're hearing, all this is a big science. It is not enough if you simply read. It is not enough if you simply think you know. These are all not the ways to confirm that you have understood. This is a science. So Krishna tells Arjuna in the end that now that you have got this information, you must think about it and deliberate on it and understand it. Vimrishyeta tyaseshena yati ichhasi tata kuru. Then you must perform. You must act upon what you have understood. And then you will get realization. Vijnana. And from Vijnana you will get conviction. From conviction you will get character. From character you will get realization. This is a whole process. It's very beautifully described by Krishna. So these two personalities, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they were blessed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because of their humility. Instantly when they said these things and cried to him in deep, humble feeling, he told them, don't worry, I initiate you and accept you as my disciples. You please give up your humility. Don't worry. And in this way he gave them shelter. He sent them to Vrindavana and said, you excavate Vrindavana. All these wonderful places where Krishna did his pastimes. You will have the opportunity to interact with Krishna and directly know these places, and you will be able to excavate them. Punaruddharana you can do. And they both stayed in Vrindavana, and he also gave them special instructions and had them write, for the sake of humanity and for the sake of the people, a simple format so that people in Kali Yuga can practice bhakti to Krishna. Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. Bhakti yoga seva. Krishna is saying, Sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. It is a great fortune for somebody to be situated in bhakti under the direction of a bona fide guru and under the shelter of Krishna. It is a science, and you feel sheltered. You feel comfortably placed. You feel secure and safe deep inside. Whatever external disturbance may be there, deep inside you feel secure and safe. This you can experience if you genuinely follow these instructions, because Krishna is saying, Sagunan samititaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. He will become situated in Brahman. He will actually be able to transcend himself and situate himself in Brahman. So these are all actual symptoms and actual final product of practicing these instructions given in the Bhagavad Gita. And they happen. They're happening to people. Krishna tells Arjuna, in the past so many of them followed this and they achieved the final state of Brahman and beyond. Purvai purvataram kritam. Just like they practiced in the past, you should also do that. And you should also achieve it. So this is not just a theory. This is not simply some religious book. This is not just some religiosity. We have come here to become holy. And we do something holy. Stand in front of this thing, something holy is happening. Everybody is dancing, chanting, some fervor. And then they give you something to eat. And sometimes they give you something to put on the forehead. They sprinkle some water. All these ritualistic things are not the main thing. All these things will induce inside you an experience. That is the main thing. The ritual itself is not the main thing. Right? The ritual itself is just the beginning. It's just the physical action of it. There is an amazing experience that you can have from inside. That is what Krishna is telling. You should awaken from inside you. You should awaken from inside you. So, mamchayo avyabhicharena is using a very strong word. Avyabhichari bhakti. In common language, common parlance, vyabhichari means a lady who is not chaste, who doesn't have only loyalty towards one husband. She is investing in many. She's a vyabhicharini. So he is using that word here. Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. Without diverting yourself this way, that way and anywhere else, you have full faith in what I say. And you put your faith in bhakti to me. Manmana bhavamat bhaktaha madhya jimam namaskuru. Then instantly it will happen. Immediately you will be able to place yourself in Brahman. Right? But rarely does somebody instantly become completely focused. Because we have a lot of investments and attachments and many things over a long period of time. It takes a long time for us to slowly develop bhakti and full focus and sort of a laser focus, like Krishna is telling, avyabhichari bhakti. But that doesn't matter. We should start somewhere. Because over a period of time, it quickly moves ahead. And that is your great fortune. So in history we see many great devotees who have done that, who have instantly adopted this. Katwanga Maharaja, in history it is mentioned, was a very great warrior, a great king. And he was even taken by the Devatas for fighting the Asuras, interplanetary fights. He was called from the earth planet, so please come and help, you are a great fighter. So sometimes he was invited to fight in higher levels as a Kshatriya. So he went, and one such occasion, he did a great job. So much the Asuras were defeated because of him, that the Devatas came and said, what can we give you? What do you want, you tell? You want beautiful maidens? You want a planet for yourself? You want eternal life? What do you want? Katwanga Maharaj said, what is my lifespan left? How much time I have? Very wise man. They said, you have only one, two muhurtas, something. That is according to demigod's lifespan. He said, that's all? He said, immediately, I want to go and render service to Krishna. He instantly pushed himself to do devotional service to Krishna. He went back to Godhead. He instantly, Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate, dup, he left back. He knew all these things, was waiting for the correct time, and he thought that, oh, I did not know that I have very less time. Now I cannot do anything else but this only. He simply absorbed himself in Krishna and devotional service to Krishna. He went back to Godhead. But we should not think, like Atvanga Maharaj, I will also one day, when after finishing everything, I will see my Jatagam, I will ask, when am I going to die? I am going to get admitted in the hospital. It will take 7 days there, I'll die at that time. I will immediately become Krishna conscious. No, but you are not like Atvanga Maharaj, who is already cultured, already knows these things. In Kali Yuga now, we don't know anything when we are born and we die also. Mostly nobody teaches us anything about anything. So it's better to cultivate it, at least to some extent. We know we have so many different engagements, but we have responsibilities, we have commitments. So we know all that, but definitely we should set aside some time every day. Out of 24 hours a day, should I not give at least 1 hour for understanding Ke Ami, Kene Amare, Jare Tapatraya? Who am I? What am I doing? Who is God? What does Bhagavad Gita say? Why does it say so? Thinking, wisdom of life, the purpose of life. Let me do this. And I must spend some time every day. I should shut myself away from everything else and I must do this. This is the practice. Everybody wakes up early in the morning and dedicates the morning time for spiritual life. The best part of your day, when your mind is very fresh, you deal with the biggest problem of life. Who am I? So people normally, everywhere, in proper culture in India, they will wake up much before sunrise, capture the sattvika guna in the morning. They will go to the river, take a bath, they will sing names of Krishna, they will come back, they will clean their altar, they will worship the Lord, do arati, they will sit down and do a sadhana, they will chant the names of the Lord, they will chant Krishna's names, Vishnu Sahasranama, something, they will do Abhishekam for Shalagram, they will sit and meditate on the Lord, they will hear and read Bhagavad, they will do all this in the morning. A little bit. And then they will go about their daily activities. When the sun rises, they have to go and do this, they have to do that, their job and everything. And in the evening again they would come back and hear Katha, Ramayana Katha, Mahabharata Katha, and some enaction of a drama, musical drama, remembering God and His pastimes. And in this way, some portion of their daily life is set aside. A good portion is set aside. At least we can set aside some portion of our life for that. In this way, you should plan your life and plan time. Time is slipping between your fingers every moment. You can never get back a moment that is lost. It's so precious. So we should plan our life. We know we have commitments, everything. Mamchi avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. You can actually try to set aside some time for this every day. Small amount of your time. I'm saying 1/24. It's hardly anything. 1 hour out of 24 hours. What percentage is that? It's very less. And it is so important. It's so important. So this is the special month of Purushottama Adhika Masa. And in this month, anything that you do is multiplied many, many times. It's an auspicious month that comes once in 3 years. And this is a month meant for bhakti to Krishna, to Purushottama, to the Supreme Lord. And if you take a good sankalpa in this month, if you say, to yourself that from this month onwards, I will every day spend 15 minutes chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I'll spend half an hour reading Bhagavad Gita. I'll spend 15 minutes worshipping Krishna, spending time with my family members reading the Bhagavad Gita, or something like that. Or speaking about this to somebody else, or taking part in an association like this. Small beginnings, very small beginning. Please make that. And humanity will become a much, much better place. Because if each human being commits himself to developing spiritually, on total, humanity comprises of human beings, and whole humanity will become a much better place. Then we don't have to talk about, things to be pushed inside artificially. Human beings are becoming inhumane. So many discussions all about. I just heard from a devotee who is a consultant working. He was explaining to me how every company, every corporation today, the United Nations has given a guideline. They should be DEI compliant. You should have diversity, equity and inclusion. And so every company is working towards getting that compliance. Which means, diversity means, I have all sorts of people of different ethnicity, from different community, from race, creed, gender, and anything. All difference. I don't stick to one type. I have all sorts of people. I give everybody a chance. Equity. I give similar opportunities for everybody. And I am inclusive. Like that. I said, I think if you practice Krishna consciousness, automatically this will happen. Where there is no God, there is a lack of all these things, and you're artificially putting, we have diversity, inclusion, this thing, that thing, this money, security. This is all because of one thing is not there. You don't have God in the center of your life. You don't have God in the center. Prabhupada went all over the world. And he did not go around saying diversity, equity, inclusion, nothing like that. He told everybody, you are all Atma. There is one God, Krishna, supreme absolute truth. You belong to Him. We are all equal. Materially there is so much of differences, but who cares about that? Don't see each other materially, because we are different materially. We cannot become equal materially. Somebody's got a male body, somebody's got a female body, somebody's got a dog's body, cat's body, he explained. But we are all spirit souls. We are all spirit souls. And the great news is that we all are part and parcel of the Supreme Godhead Krishna. He is our Father. Pitahamasya jagato mata data pitamaha. He stated this. Isn't it great news? We are equal, whether you like it or not. We are actually equal. He went to Russia and told Professor Kotovsky, I am also talking communism only. He was very surprised. How is it? Spiritual communism. The problem with your communism is it will never be successful, he said. And he said, why? Because you are basing it on matter, and material life, there is no equality. You do not know that you are a spirit soul, therefore automatically you are equal. The mosquito is equal to the cow, to the human being, to the demigod. All are equal. He said, not only human beings, everybody is equal. And that is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, Pandita Samadarshana. A learned person is a person who can see equally. You're having a problem in inequality because you're not able to see equally. It is not that if you make a man a woman and make a woman a man, they'll become equal. But that's not the way to make it equal. He said, we are all spirit souls, spiritual communism. He became very interested, that professor. He said, this is explained in Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada went and spoke about equity, inclusion, everything. He didn't speak about race, creed, color, gender, anything. Even a dog can become Krishna conscious. And you have the story of dog becoming Krishna conscious in Chaitanya Leela. You have Shivananda Sena's dog. Shivananda Sena's dog also joined the yatra and the party, holy trip. One dog was coming with his tongue hanging around with everybody in the walking in the procession. And Shivananda Sena noticed this dog is very special. He is sitting and hearing the kirtan, hearing the lecture on the side corner somewhere. Imagine there is a dog sitting here now, quietly without disturbing anybody, and hearing the kirtan and hearing this thing. Then during prasadam time he is also getting his little prasadam and is behaving perfectly well, not disturbing anybody. You wouldn't mind, right? It's okay, he's not harming anybody. Like that, this dog was joining the party. And they were crossing the river. The boatman said, I don't take dog, I take only human being. And the dog was looking at everybody and feeling sad. The face showed. Then Shivananda Sena told the boatman, I will give double the price for this dog on the boat. Will you give me the price? He said, yeah, give double price. What I give for everybody is half anna. I'll give 1 anna for this dog. He said, okay. The dog immediately jumped on the boat, sat down. He paid double price. And he made sure the dog is getting food, prasadam. Sometimes the dog disappeared somewhere. He said, find him out. He is a devotee. That dog is a devotee. You find out, otherwise I will not eat. So he fasted. Shivananda Sena said, I will not eat unless you find him. Where is it? Did he get food to eat? So they brought the dog, gave him food to eat, then only he ate. In this way, the dog became a part of the yatra. And it was going, coming, and they are all going towards Puri, Jagannath Puri from Bengal. Crossing and going through, there is no train and this and that. They were going through boats and going through walking, and by the time they reached Puri, they found the dog already reached Puri, much ahead. And the dog was already sitting with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the side. Not only that, the dog was looking very bright and very happy, and the Lord was, after drinking tender coconut, he was taking the green pulp and throwing it to the dog, and the dog was jumping and taking the Mahaprasadam of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then in 3 days' time, the dog was sent back to Godhead by Lord Chaitanya. Nitai Gaura Premanande. The dog is taking part. Is this not equality? We are talking about equality only amongst human beings, but Bhagavad Gita speaks about equality amongst everybody. All Atmas are equal. Even the tree is a soul. This is the vision Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada gave. In Bombay, he told, don't cut the tree for making the road. This tree is a devotee. He is in our campus. Even today, in the middle of the road, we have a tree. Because Prabhupada told, he is a devotee, don't cut. Not one single tree should be cut here. So that is the level of equality. Now the United Nations is talking about human equality, gender, racism, that, this. But the Bhagavad Gita teaches you about equality on a much higher level. How to live in good harmony with other living creatures on this planet, which human beings are not doing. So speak about diversity, equity, inclusion. Inclusion. Did Sivananda Sena have inclusion for the dog inside? Did he not fast and say, I will not eat if you don't give food to the dog? Is this not inclusion? Is this not equity? That is the Vedic civilization. That is the civilization that mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is saying very nicely that Pandita Samadarshana, that what is the shloka? It says Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shunichaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, the fellow who is really educated, Vidya, has got knowledge. He will see Brahmane Gavi Hastini Sunichaiva Swapake. He will see a learned Brahmana. He will see a cow. He will see an elephant, Hastini. And he will see a Chandala. He will see a dog. All equally. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. Such a person who is capable of the equal vision, he is an educated man. He is an educated man. This is the meaning of education. But we are taught to differentiate all the time. We are all the time taught to differentiate. But the opposite is education. For that you need to have spiritual education. Because this learned person is seeing the Paramatma in everybody's heart, whichever body, accompanied with the Atma. So he is learned. Same way Chanakya Pandit, in according to moral parlance, ethical parlance in humanity also, he said, one who sees every woman apart from his wife as his mother, and one who sees things that don't belong to him as garbage, that man is a civilized, educated man. See, he's saying, if you are able to see matrismata, you must be able to see every woman who is not your wife to be your mother. This means you are an educated fellow, cultured, educated man. These are the things taught to students. Anything that does not belong to me, you should look at it like garbage. Don't try to take things that don't belong to you. Anybody else's thing is not yours. It's not yours. Whatever you have by your karma and by your this thing, your labor and everything, only that belongs to you. Right? Matravat paradareshu paradravyeshu lostravat atmavat sarvabhuteshu yapashyati sa pandita. Matravat paradareshu, seeing every other woman as my mother. And that's why in traditional this thing you say Mataji, my dear mother. You will address whoever is a female, you will address as Mataji, my dear mother. Paradravyeshu lostravat, any object that belongs to somebody else, lostravat. I just don't look at it. It's not mine. It doesn't exist for me. Atmavat sarva bhuteshu, seeing Atma in everybody. Yapashyati sambhat pandita. Such a person is learned. This value is lost in this great country. Now you do all sorts of crazy things. And then they talk about value education, this, that, everything, artificially. But your education itself teaches you the opposite. It doesn't teach you about God. It teaches you how to differentiate. It teaches you about rich and poor, economy, enemy and friend. It differentiates and teaches you all these things. And then you say value education, value education. But why are you educating them on something valueless first? And then putting value education on top of it? Why don't you just teach value first from the beginning? And then automatically these valueless things can be learned on the side. It's nothing very important. So please understand this Bhagavad Gita, this amazing information filled with value. You must spend time on it every day, a little bit. And culture that value. You need it for your children very much. And if you want to teach your children, you must know it. Children will follow only what you do. Right? So please spend time a little bit in this Purushottam Adhika Masa. We request you and urge you to take a sankalpa. I will spend 1 hour every day. I will chant japa, and we'll be very happy to acknowledge that for you in front of Lord Jagannath. Thank you. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Krishna. Anybody have any questions? யாருக்காவது ஏதாவது கேள்விகள் இருந்தாலும் கேட்கலாம்.
இல்லைங்க.
Okay. Okay, we thank Professor His Holiness Bhakti Vinoda Swami Maharaj. Hare Krishna. ஒவ்வொரு வாரமும் திருக்கோவிலுக்கு புதிதாக பக்தர்கள் வந்துட்டார். Every week, today is Sunday early office program. We welcome on Sharada Shinde and Kanaya Shinde and Tritwa Sunde, the JVS jewelry peoples. Hare Krishna, we welcome. Hare Krishna.